How's it going, guys? Today I'll be showing you how I built my new Arknights themed mechanical keyboard. The total cost after all taxes and shipping came out to a total of $141.69. Now, I'm not a mechanical keyboard enthusiast, but I would say for a 100% full keyboard layout, that would be a fair yet budget-friendly price. The biggest cost was actually the frame that I purchased off Amazon, which was the 100% silver white keyboard from Glorious, which is one of the more pricier brands. A lot of the 100% keyboards that I liked on AliExpress, especially ones with a volume knob, were either out of stock or discontinued, so I just went with this one because it would arrive to my house in 2 days. The keyboard came with switches and keycaps already. More specifically, it came with brown MX switches which are fairly quiet and tactile, but I wanted it even quieter, so I went on AliExpress and got these very quiet switches that were called Silent Peach. I'll leave the link in the description for everything that I purchased. In addition to the switches, I also got the Arknights keycaps from AliExpress as well. Feel free to use any other keycaps that you find, but before you buy them, make sure they're compatible with MX switches. After you've selected your frame, switches, and keycaps, it's time to start the assembly. You can just buy the frame cheaper online, but if you buy a pre-built mechanical keyboard like me here, the first thing you ought to do is remove the current keycaps and switches. A lot of times these keyboard kits will often come with some cheap plastic tools to help you remove the switches and keycaps. After removing all the existing keycaps, I set those aside and grabbed the other pulling tool to remove the existing brown switches. Now that they're removed, we are almost ready to put in our switches. Now this next step is an optional step, but I'm going to lube my switches so that they're a little bit smoother and may get quieter as a result. There's tons of tutorials online on how to do this. I would recommend purchasing an MX switch opener, which essentially helps open up the switches for you, and then you grab a thin brush and some keyboard switch lube and modestly lube the coil and the surrounding area inside the switch. There's a correct way to do it and the incorrect way to do it, which is what I'm doing now. This way is much quicker but less precise with the lubing. I honestly can't tell the difference. Now they're ready to be placed. Once the existing switches are removed, you can then replace them with your own switches by aligning the switches in the correct orientation and then pressing down on them into the slot with some slight force. Your thumb or fingers should probably be dying by the time you get to the end. Now that the switches are on, the next thing I do is check to see whether all the keys actually work, and you can do that by going to Google and searching keyboard tester. You simply hit all the keys and see which keys on the screen light up. If a key isn't working, it's most likely because one of the tiny prongs on the switch got bent when you press the switch down into the slot. All you have to do is take out that switch and check to see if the prong was bent. Once all the keys are confirmed to work, I finish the setup by placing down all the lovely keycaps into place, and voila! Let's see it before and after and how the switches sound. Even with the lazy lubing, the keyboards sound dramatically quieter, which is perfect if you're either working in a quiet environment like an office at work, or you just don't want to annoy everyone around you. Overall, I'm quite content with this keyboard. The RGB lights add a unique flair to it, and the Silent Peach switches make gaming and typing much less annoying to those around me. The only downside is that it feels less tactile than most other switches, but it doesn't pose a problem for me nor my gaming. I hope you guys enjoyed this keyboard build. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.